Aloha Kauai, how's it going? I'm Max Richardson.
Aloha, I'm Councilmember Addison Bulosan.
And this is your weekly legislative update. We're going to chat with each other and let you know a little bit about some of the things that happened at our county council meetings this week. So it was Tuesday the 27th and Wednesday the 28th of June. So Addison, what were some things what's the basic gist of what happened at the meeting?
Yeah, so the 27th on Tuesday was a special meeting. We called our finance department to come help us learn more about our property tax and how it's set up. All the exemptions there are. As you know, we passed the budget and it goes effective July 1st. And then more importantly, looking at how we can improve our property tax structure and situation so that it's more fair, equitable, and just. And more importantly, so we can do the functions of our county, provide the services to our community, and at the same time, don't put as much burden on our community to try to provide all those services, but at the same time, not make it harder for everyone. So
okay, that makes sense.
It was a long day for our community. If you didn't get a chance to watch that and you want a quick recap, basically we have over 30 exemptions for our community to help you with your property tax, to make sure that it's more fair and more just for people, people who are income strict or in a certain age group or in certain situations. It allows you to get some help. And one big thing that we did this fiscal year was that we prioritized local residents. We prioritize people who live here, call this place home 100% of the time. And so we lowered the tax rate for homestead. Homestead is people who own and live in your home, and that's your only home on Kauai. And so that way we can try to fight the forces of what's going on in the world, which is everything is getting more expensive.
Yeah, tell me about it. So basically, for the folks that haven't been keeping up on the riveting world of tax law, there's a big bill coming down the pike eventually that's going to be making some substantial changes to the tax code, right? Basically streamlining it. Because I believe Chair Raposo had said that we have the most complex, at least real property tax code in the state.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the whole point of it, right? We want things to be both effective to help and provide services, but at the same time not cause more challenges, right? And so that's one of the things that we always look at to make things better for our community. And so that second half of the day was basically looking at what's possible.
Yeah.
And so if you get a chance, if you want to see what we're looking at and what we're hoping to do, watch the second half of that day. I know at the end of the meeting, we did share that we wanted another workshop.
One thing that I learned I'm just an ordinary citizen, I just go there to be the camera guy. Mm-hmm. But one thing that I learned at this workshop in particular is that because our tax code is so complex, there is some burden currently on the taxpayer to you kind of have to know these are the exemptions I should apply for and these are the exemptions that I don't qualify for. So you could qualify for like a homeowner exemption. If you don't go down to the office and file the paperwork, you're not going to get the homeowner exemption. You're going to pay higher taxes.
Yeah, exactly. And that's one of the things, right? With all the things that are changing in our community, there's certain technologies and ways that we can communicate that will allow us to learn better and function better. And for everyone watching, when you look at the budget for the county services, so of the 14 departments that we have in the county of Kauai, from fire all the way to police to parks and recreation, all these services that we provide, almost over 70% of the budget comes from property tax. So we just have to remember that this property tax, the way it's structured, is super important to us because how we structure the property tax, how we tax everyone, and then how everyone pays into the system so that we have all the services is super important. And then more importantly, how do we make it fair? With everything going on right now in the world, rising costs of living, rising costs of homes and housing, the county plays one big part of it in property tax.
Yeah, it's nice to see a focus being put on making things more convenient for the taxpayer.
Yeah.
So that was Tuesday. What happened on Wednesday?
So Wednesday was a council meeting. So every Wednesdays, 8:30 is when it starts. So, but we started that day with nominations for a couple of boards and commission openings, and it was interviews that we did. And so just for our public to know, there's a huge avenue where our community can be involved in how our county government functions, which is our boards and commission. And there's nearly a board and commission for every department in our county government. And the reason why this is important is because these boards and commissions do help inform or educate or provide public input to our departments to allow us to be hyper connected to our community. And so if people are always wondering, how can I be involved? How can I make sure that I do my part to make sure our community can live here or thrive here? That's one big place.
And all that's available on the website. That's kauai.gov, and you'll click on webcast meetings. There's considerable amount of backlog meetings, and then if you happen to go to that website while there's a meeting happening, you can tune in live.
Next, we actually brought up our IT department, and that was awesome. Two things that we've been working on, or at least our IT department has been working on, that they reported on, and that's our LIMS and our GIS.
LIMS is Land Information Management System.
Awesome.
And GIS, I believe, is Global or Geographic Information System.
Yes, and so these two things that they presented on, GIS and LIMS, are allowing our county to be better at responding to challenges and to help our community. And so that's one of the things about our challenges in our community, is that some of these things need to be responded quickly. And so GIS is one of the big ones that allow us to see and create maps and see how things are set up, certain areas, and how we can affect things in a positive way. You can go to the website. Under the website, which actually they did announce earlier, about a week ago, a press release, we did update the website. So please check that out. Give us feedback on how we can improve it. But I love the website now.
Yeah.
It's a lot more navigatable.
The new website is great. It's a lot more, shall we say, 21st century.
Yes. It was more 1990s.
Yeah.
With the hyperlinks.
Getting some real live journal vibes from it, or GeoCities vibes.
Yeah, exactly. So if you check out the website, there's a tab called Residents, and in that tab there is a place that you can go to called Really Cool Maps, which is basically GIS or GIS, and allow you to see all the things that we have been putting and logging into GIS so that it can make us be more efficient with our time. And allow us to help and fix things a little bit more efficient. So we got that update, and then we got the LIMS update, which I get super excited about.
The LIMS was cool.
Yeah. So if you guys haven't checked out connect.kauai.gov, that is a very powerful website that has been launched by our county to help us bridge some of the gaps of services that we provide. And so on that website, connect.kauai.gov, and you can actually reserve your park there. You can schedule community events there, but it just makes it one centralized area and makes it super easy for us to engage versus having to drive into town and schedule something, check your calendar on your whatever calendar you use. Now you can just go online and see what's going on. During the council meeting, we did have some ideas to improve these systems so that it can be better responsive to our community. And then the community, some of the community members actually got a chance to give feedback on some of the experiences that they're having with these systems. And so I strongly encourage everyone, when you get a chance, and if you're following, at least looking at the agenda, if there's something that you had a question about, a comment about, make sure you testify, because it allows us to see things in different perspectives, and allows us to really hear what the community wants.
Yeah, I agree. The public testimony is something that's really important, and I think it's something that a lot of people don't realize you can do. You can go to a county council meeting, and you can have a chance to sit at the podium and address the county council if you have concerns about specific items. A big takeaway I thought from that LIMS thing for me was that it's a work in progress still, and it's not. They weren't making a presentation saying we're done with LIMS and this is all it can do. They're saying these are the things it can do right now, and we're still adding more stuff to it.
Awesome. So I guess one of the other things I just want to add to that is the one of the opportunities is learning other things that this system can do. And so one of the discussion points was about abandoned vehicles and how we can better caretake our public spaces, and then assist people to really look at ways that we can all work together. And one point that was made was about self-reporting. How can we engage each other? Because this is what we call home, right? Kauai is our home, and as much as we want, certain services to function all by itself, really it takes us as a whole to work together. And so we want to make sure that these systems are responsive. And so self-reporting, like, hey, there's an abandoned vehicle on this road. Where do we report that? Right now, we have the website to intake that information, but we can integrate it into this GIS system, into our LIM system. So there's a lot of opportunity. So if you guys are watching this and you got an awesome idea, shoot it over. Email us on our website at kauai.gov, or just come testify at the next meeting.
So yeah, I think that was a big part of what we learned at both the workshop and the meeting, but I think especially the meeting is that, okay, let's be real for a sec. We all know that not just Kauai County government, but every government is way behind when it comes to technology because, like you said, they're these big, entities that with all these people and all these moving parts, and it's difficult to change with the times. And I think what I'm really excited about as a citizen, as a resident of Kauai, is to see that the Kauai government is catching up with the times.
Yeah, and so throughout the meeting, that was the morning of the meeting, and in the afternoon, there's a couple of things that we went through. So if you ever look at the agenda, you'll see certain things like communications, and so communications is an opportunity that certain things need to get to the agenda so that we can communicate between the county council and the department's administration. And so one thing that came up was that the planning department in communications is applying for a grant, which is awesome. And the grant was for road safety plan so that our community can get a road safety plan. So hopefully we get that grant. There's a lot of discussions about how we can improve our road safety on our island. And so that's another thing that I want to bring up with the community is that these communications, you can provide feedback, you can provide testimony at any time. Basically everything on the agenda is able to be provide testimony on. And then we went through a couple of resolutions, and just one that we want to highlight is the celebrating the Honey Creepers Day on August 8th. I think that's one of the things that it's heartbreaking to share, to celebrate. We only have 17 native birds out of the 100 plus that was recorded in history. And on Kauai, we have 8. And there's one bird right now that they only have a count of 1.
Wow.
And so it's on the brink of extinction. And so everything, all the work that our nonprofits are doing, our community is doing to take care of these birds. We all know that everything plays a role. And we know we're all integrated as a community. As far as a small native bird to us as human beings, we play a role in our ecosystem. And so whatever we can do to live in harmony is very important to us.
Yeah, we've got to keep Kauai beautiful.
Yeah. Well, that's all I got from me. You got anything else?
That about sums it up. That was what happened in the county this week. And we'll see everyone next week.
Yes. So tune in to the next time. We'll try to do this weekly to give you guys updates, to keep you abreast, so that way you're in the loop and you can get connected and plugged in at any moment. And I appreciate Ho'ike TV for making this happen.